Hi people, it's me Anja, my pronouns all she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new video in my series where I read for the first time a book published a decade ago. And today's pick is Shatter Me, which is a YA dystopia book published in like 2011 or something like that. I'm not quite sure what to expect from this book because the majority of my friends who have read this book either today, more recently, or like in the past, have critiqued this series for being so unnecessarily long. Because from what I understand, the author had originally planned to write a trilogy, but then kept writing novellas and sequels and etc, etc. And second of all, I've heard the main character, Juliet, is not very smart. And also, third of all, the world building is so underdeveloped. So with that said, I have extremely low expectations. I have read before a few books by this author. For example, Furthermore, which is one of her middle-grade fantasies that I read in like 2016 or something. I really enjoyed that book. And then I've read two of her YA contemporary books, one of which I really enjoyed, and then the second one was so disappointing. Like, I think I critiqued it for like not having enough closure or something like that. I don't know. It was one of my worst books of 2021. But anyway, with that said, I have extremely low expectations for this book, but I'm quite intrigued by it because I'm interested in if I will enjoy it or not. So anyway, with that said, here I go. So what I've gathered so far is that this book follows Juliet, who's 17 years old and has been basically locked up in this asylum or something for the past 264 days, which I googled is about 8.5 months or something like that. And suddenly they bring her a cellmate whose name is Adam, and I don't really understand why he's there, but like basically she's there because she has deadly touch or something. I don't know. Her parents emotionally neglected her when she was a child because of her superpowers. I don't know how her superpowers like were obtained. Like, I don't know if this is like supposed to be magical, or like if she was born with them, or if she was like bit by a radioactive spider and she got them somehow or something. I don't really understand also the layout of this asylum at all. She is also in solitary confinement, basically, or she has been until Adam gets there. And it's like weird because she doesn't understand why Adam's there, and neither do I, and maybe that's the point. I don't really understand what's going on. I don't really understand like why she's a threat and why she's like being imprisoned. Is she being punished? And like how she was like caught? I don't know. But I don't know if I'm supposed to know what's going on or if it will be explained later. People always talk about how the world building in this story is so underdeveloped, and like how Julia has been brainwashed or whatever, and that's why she's not very smart, which is completely understandable given her circumstances. But some people also argue that she's still not very smart regardless of all that. I don't know. When you've been like emotionally neglected and stuff, your emotional growth is understandably stunted or whatever. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about her right now as a character. So I've read like 5 more chapters. Adam's a spy, and we've met Warner, whom I've heard is Juliet's love interest, I think. I don't know. I don't really care. The fact that Adam is a spy is also something that I don't really care about, because I don't really understand like Juliet's superpowers, for lack of a better word. So I don't really understand what Warner is like hiring her to do exactly. I really need to know how she got these powers to begin with, because if she's been treated as some sort of like anomaly or whatever, like why is she the only one with them? I I don't understand what's going on. Anyway, that's my update. I'm on chapter 16 now, and it's very interesting to me that I have no idea what Julia looks like. Like, there have been no physical descriptors for anything. Like, I don't know her hair color, her skin color, her eye color. I don't know anything at all, which is very interesting. Like, was that a choice? I don't know. Anyway, Warner's weird, Adam's weird. Juliet, I don't really understand what has been happening to the world outside, like the reestablishment. Like, it seems so desolate and barren and almost apocalyptic outside, and I don't really understand, like, the situation with the government and everything. I'm so confused. Anyway, there's that. So I'm now, like, almost halfway through this book. This, like, romance or whatever between her and Adam seems awfully fast-paced. It's giving forced proximity. I know that they, like, have a past together or whatever. I don't really care. I don't really ship them. Kenji is another character who showed up briefly, whom I've heard about from the fandom or whatever, but I don't really know if he's in, like, more books or whatever. Also, why are there no other girl characters? Where are the girls? Like, I know it's 2012 and whatever, and historically, like, if the main character is a girl, she doesn't typically have any other friends, because, like, her main goal in life is to, like, fall in love with stereotypically a man, and then she doesn't often have any other friends. I don't know. When I was younger and I was reading these, like, YA books in 2012, up until, like, 2015 or 2016, as stories started to get more and more diverse, I was always so annoyed with these romance-driven YA contemporaries that I happened to be reading, because it seemed as if these girls who were, like, the main characters or whatever didn't have any hobbies or interests or, frankly, any friends besides, like, falling in love with the main guy. And I was just so annoyed, because I was like, there's so much more to life than romance. Like, what about your friends? Anyway, all that to say, I digress. I think this book is kind of okay. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of okay. I've read 31 chapters so far, and, like, she's meeting Adam's brother, James, and everything, and, like, I feel like Adam and Juliet escaped Warner and his team or whatever way too easily, and now I'm thinking that I don't really trust Adam that much. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, what? It just seems altogether way too convenient, everything that Adam is explaining to Juliet, and she has no reason to question anything because she doesn't know any better. Is this part of the brainwashing that I've heard about? I think it is. So anyway, that's where I'm at currently. I guess the only, like, redeeming quality about this book is that it's quite action-packed, and, like, that means that the world building is never quite explained, because the characters keep moving from place to place to place, and, like, I'm so confused about her magical powers and why Adam and Warner are both immune to her. Like, I understand that she doesn't know that either, which is why it's never answered, but I don't really understand it. So, anyway, because of how action-packed it is, I don't really have time to become emotionally connected to any of these characters, really, even though they don't really feel like real people. Like, not even James, who's, like, a child, or Kenji, whom I think is supposed to be, like, the comic relief or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, Adam might be dead. And frankly, I don't care. Okay, So she's at Omega Point now, and they're telling her that her world is not as bad as they've led her to believe, or something, which I don't even understand, because I didn't even understand initially how bad the outside world was supposed to be. Like, what is going on here? What? Also, Kenji is a part of Omega Point, which does make sense, because I thought that the whole point of, like, meeting up with him and whatever was way too convenient. But I'm so confused about this, like, rebel organization or whatnot. What the hell is going on? What? Anyway, I'm like 80% through this book now, so I guess I'm going to find out what the fuck is going on. So I finished the book. What? Nothing was explained to me, except that I guess she's part of this organization. There were other people like her, thank God. And, like, the love triangle between her and Adam and Warren, don't care. I don't care about it at all. What I really don't understand is, what's the point of Omega Point? Like, what is the point of the organization? What are they going to do next? I still don't understand how she and all these other people got these powers to begin with. I don't understand how Adam is immune to her. Like, what is going on? And, like, what? Also, this is such a weird quirk of the writing, but I don't understand why every time there's, like, a number, they also insist on, like, writing the number itself instead of just spelling it out. I feel like spelling it out would make the writing so much smoother, and also there's so much telling and not enough showing for the world building, which makes it even more underdeveloped, because there's just, like, so much yapping. And I'm just like, what? Stop yapping. Show me what's going on. Also, the romance between her and Adam, I've said before that I don't really care for it, because it, like, happened way too quickly, and it's giving forced proximity, so you don't actually have a lot of chemistry at all. And Juliet, as a person, is such, like, she has no substance. She doesn't feel like a real person at all, and I don't know. I don't like this book. I think it's just so poorly written. Like, that's my general consensus. And yeah, there's that. So in conclusion, I rated this book 2 stars because I think it's terrible. I think the writing sucks. I think the world building is so underdeveloped. Like, where did she get her magical powers from? How much can she control them? What are the limits to that? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, the world building regarding, like, the reestablishment and what they've, like, I guess, blackmailed and brainwashed the population to believe also doesn't make any sense. Like, the propaganda itself makes no sense, because I don't even understand what that is supposed to be. Then I also don't understand what, like, Omega Point or whatever explained at the end. If the propaganda isn't true, then what is actually true? And what is going on? Like, what's the point of Omega Point to begin with? What? Speaking of the characters, Adam is so overprotective, so possessive, so weird. It makes sense, I guess, given his childhood or whatever, but I don't care. Warner is a psychopath, and he's so annoying and so ruthless, and, like, he's the worst. Juliet is just annoying because she's not very smart, but like, I don't know how I really feel about her, because given her past, I guess it's understandable that she's not super strong or whatever, because she was in an asylum for like 8 months. So like, and before that, her parents obviously mistreated her. She hasn't had any friends. Her magic makes her like obviously wary of making friends since she's like so lethal or whatever. What the hell is going on? Anyway, yeah, the plot is super fast-paced and super action-packed, which again gives me no time to become emotionally connected to these characters who don't feel like real people at all. They feel so one-dimensional. So anyway, all that to say, I didn't like this book. I rated it 2 stars. I won't be continuing this series, and I won't be reading any of the novellas because frankly I don't really care. So yeah, in conclusion, those are my thoughts on Shatter Me. And if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the swan emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.